Falcon fans, and of course, Falcon fans decided over those technical difficulties since we missed a couple of minutes. Everybody's just going to join the fucking show together. We might as well just do that.
Yes, sir.
One time for the fan, we are back talking Falcons football like we've been sleeping in this motherfucker. I'm telling you, we've been in here 3 days straight talking Falcons football. It's been great, but I'm telling you, tonight's going to be even greater.
Let's get it, guys.
Chase, we got not only Bodie off work, but we got one of the best in here.
Come on,
Berto.
No, man, that's too. That pinnacle is a little too high. I'll save that for y'all, gentlemen, man. I'm just a casual, brother. I just love my Falcons, man.
Falcons fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe across all platforms. As you see there on the screen, you'll be seeing this from time to time. So please head over to your social media. Check on Chase, check on Bodie, check on Berto, 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Welcome back to One Time for the Fan, episode 164 on your ass.
Yes, sir.
That means we are growing. 164. Last time Berto was here
up.
was like episode 57. Now we're on some real shit.
God damn.
It's going down in the major way. Chat is going crazy already. Before we even get to the chat, we got to go around and ask everybody how they're feeling. Chase, you was here last night. Bodie, you was here the night before. It's going wild right now when it comes to podcasting. Of course, this is like our Super Bowl when it comes to being podcasters because we enjoy these moments. But Chase, how you been doing, brother?
Been good, man. Can't complain. It's already Tuesday, almost hump day, so the week's coming on through. Got a big show coming up Friday night. Excited for that. Got a lot looking forward to this week. So, yeah, doing good, man.
Want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to the platform before we get started?
Yeah, why not? If you haven't already, head over to Dirty Fanatics United. Check us out Friday night. We got a collab going on with One Time for the Fan, our boy 95 North Talk Show, Smitty, Lieutenant Dan. A couple more big names will be on the show Friday night. So tune in Friday at 8 and hit that subscribe button.
Man, it's good having those guys on the talk show. Berto, you know Smitty well and some of these other content creators and Falcon fans who do talk Falcons football well, not only in the chats but on the podcast. But it's going to be a great show Friday. You Chase done a great job with Dirty Fanatics United as well. So let's continue going in the right direction there. Bodie 3000, how you doing over there, sir?
I'm beautiful, man. I'm beautiful. It's a great day to be a Falcon fan. I say that a lot, but I'm actually serious this time. I'm very excited about this upcoming season and the energy that's going to be. I think that energy off our new coach is going to radiate throughout the whole stadium. So it's going to be dope.
This is great when you got not only your podcast crew in the building, but you got special guests here that's not only been on the podcast before, and he's a content creator, so he knows what he's doing here. So he walked in the studio and he still got his shoes on, white couches, white carpet, everything. He's fucking putting mud all over the place. Going day He's been here before.
Not fuck your couch.
He's been here before.
Favorite
Talking about Berto from 95 North Falcons Talk Show, man. Berto, how you been?
Sir. Man, I've been terrific, man. I've been great, man. Can't complain, man. It's been a long week too, man. I had a couple shows, man. Had our very own show on Sunday. And I was over with Ryan the historian over at Birdcage LLC. Had a fantastic time there last night, man. And I'm here with y'all rocking tonight, man. Honor and privilege to be on here, sharing it with some great minds in this Falcon space. And man, yeah, man, can't wait to talk about the topics that we have on hand. I know you and I, Jack, we spoke earlier, man. It's
we did a podcast earlier. You just didn't record
seriously. But that's the beauty of it, man. You know, you can have these conversations out, outside of the, this realm right here that we call content creating. Just civil talk, man. And it was awesome. You know what I mean? I got to, know a little bit more of your vibe and what you're feeling about the OG regime and what the Falcons got going on. I'm sure you felt the same way about mine. And it just, man, when you collaborate, man, and put it all on wax, man, just makes it better, man.
That is true. And even, from hearing what you had to say earlier, knowing that you've been on the podcast before, I've seen you, of course, on Twitter and social media and listen to your podcast too as well. Some things, even if I might see a different direction to it, it's still going to add back up to winning at the end of the day, regardless of how Berto may see it and how I may see it sometimes. We're going to win. I'm going to see Berto. You won. I won. Hey, man, we won. Let's fucking move to the next game. Chase, chant fans in the chat. That's how some fans feel because we're trying to bring this positive energy to this fan base to where, yes, we know we're not winning. It's been, 6 years, whatever. But this change is going to happen. And when it does happen, I want you all to remember who's the ones that's always been sticking by not only the team and the organization, but just everybody, the fan base too as well. Berto do a good job of that. Bodie, you do a good job of that. And Chase too as well. The Jersey crew, the front line that's here tonight with the jersey. Raheem got us so hyped up. We ready to get in a fucking game. We brought our jerseys out. It's getting crazy out here. I don't know what's going on, but I told you about the 80 yards on the run.
I feel left out. I went on Fanatics there and bought a goddamn shirt. I need to get another jersey. It's what I need to do.
It's a good feeling when fans watch these podcasts and say, man, I need to go get some more merch, or I need to go get some more Falcons gear, and it's the off season, because loading up now versus when the season hits, I mean, that's where the true fans are still buying gear right now along this time, because the season is over, but the store's still open. You know, there's still, I just bought 2 more Falcon shirts the other day. You know what I'm saying? Walked in the store. Well, bet I'll take that. You know, so it's a good time to buy this Falcons merch, man. So I'm sure you got a good deal with the Fanatics too.
You bought them Ridley jerseys on clearance?
Shit. Well, I might have to bring mine back out. You never know. Might have to bring mine back out.
Hey.
Better yet.
Okay.
Don't quote me, goddamn. Don't quote me.
It's a possibility.
Hey, you get him on clearance and he come back.
Shit.
You gotta steal.
The winner.
Great, man. But yeah, we did talk Falcons football earlier, Berto, on the phone, and then Bodie, you know, we always talk Falcons football in the chat, Chase too as well. So when it comes tonight to this podcast, like last night's podcast, or the podcast before the night that, or I'm sorry, the podcast the night before that, or the podcast on Friday that we did, or the one we did last week Wednesday, or the one with Country, we're talking off season. Falcon fans, we're not in the Super Bowl, as you can see. But Falcon fans want to know some of these questions, like what is the coaching staff doing? What are the free agency looking like? The draft. So bringing people like Berto along, and of course when Chase can show up and Bodie can take the time out his day to come talk Falcons football, it's a good thing because everybody has their own opinion. Bodie, you went off last night dealing with the Justin Fields situation, and you know what could happen with the different scenarios. But Berto, we talked today, and your look of the team and how you see things in the NFL is pretty much how every other fan sees it. It's a short list at quarterback here, and you have to get your guys soon, Falcons fans, if you want to win. I think going into the press conference, we maybe was expecting to hear the name Desmond Ridder, and this is no shot to Ridder, but I didn't hear it. I heard the tone of we are going in the direction of getting a guy.
I heard we're going to get a elite processor at quarterback. That's what I heard.
Well, and you listen to the radio station, you got to get a guy who's who can. If you look at we're going to go around table here, Falcon fans. If you're looking at the guy they can get, you need a guy maybe who's experiencing third down situations, experiencing late game drives, experiencing hostile environments playing on the road. Maybe we're talking about a vet here, you know. But if you go with a rookie and you take the Houston Texans approach, it's not going to hurt you because Falcon fans will get their guy. The divide is going to be who you're getting. Because Falcon fans are going to say, this guy. It's kind of like with the coach. They wanted Bill Belichick, they wanted Harbaugh. You settle for Raheem Morris, people going crazy everywhere. They wanted Ben Johnson, they wanted Sluick. You know what I'm saying? Same thing for the quarterback. Who's going to be this guy? You're getting Penix, you're getting Daniels. So, Berto, going to you, and then Chase, everybody can jump in, Shaq, jump in. The conversation that we had last night is different than today. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Berto, you know about that. You live out there. In that area.
It's a whack ass area. Sorry.
So tell me about the quarterback talk to you, Berto, because I know you've been preaching a lot on not only on social media but on your platform, other people's platform. What are you looking at when you see this quarterback situation in the NFL and the Falcons?
Man, so to that, you know, we got to look at the quarterback situation in free agency. You know, and we spoke about it, you know, off air. It's slim pickings. It's really vet driven. There's some guys there that get the vet title, but they've been in the league 5 or 6 years by default. Sure. You know, you got your Carson Wentz, you got your Ryan Tannehills, you got your Kirk Cousins. Those two guys, you know, do you really want to invest in a 35-year-old quarterback that's coming off an Achilles? I don't think so. Do you want to invest in a guy that's been steadily declining the past 3 years in Ryan Tannehill? I don't think so. So, you know, Carson Wentz is another name, and I'm only throwing that name out there because Zach Robinson has had his hands on him, and he has ran that offense unlimited time.
Say the name you also said today that we haven't talked about, though. The West Coast guy we're talking, the AFC West guy, who may be available too as well. They're playing the Super Bowl in that stadium.
Yeah.
Jimmy
Broncos
G.
country. Oh, Jimmy G.
Shit.
Jimmy G is another possibility.
Shit.
And this is a guy that is just 4 years removed from being in the Super Bowl. Playing at an elite high level, man. Under that Shanahan offense. But we all know that quarterbacks look fantastic in that offense. That offense is just tailor-made really for anybody that has it up here, man. But yeah, that's another possibility, man. Jimmy G, he's a veteran that's been in the game, been through multiple offensive schemes. Zach Robinson, now who's the OC here, is by trade also a QB coach, and he's had his hands with the likes of Baker Mayfield, and we saw what he did with him. And Raheem, alluded to it in the presser. There was some games where Baker started that they shouldn't have won, but they won them. So that goes to what the scheme that's being brought here in Atlanta, and the guidance and tutelage that Zach Robinson brings.
Mm-hmm.
It's not out of the possibility, man. And if you get a guy, you invest in a guy like that, you automatically know that's a bridge gap quarterback to our possible pick at 8 or in a trade up scenario in this year's NFL draft. So that's a name to look out for. And then as we spoke very candidly about the guy that plays in Chicago as well, Jack. He's also a possibility, man. Justin Fields is another kid, man. But
why would he be a possibility?
Oh man, just in the intangibles, man. Just what he can bring to the table. And a lot of people are yin and yang about Justin Fields. Oh, he's a guy that can't process a defense. His footwork is trash. You guys got to take into account how crucial coaching is, man. And I didn't say this while we was on the phone. I kind of saved this for when we were on air, just to let the folks in a little bit more.
Oh, to bring in more viewers. Yeah, I love it.
No, just oh yeah, sure. If that's what it is, that's what it is. But there has been no other talent in the league as great as Justin Fields was in Ohio State, and as great as he was made to be or is to be here in the NFL. He has not benefited from great minds surrounding him in the NFL. When he first came in, he had Bill Lazor, an offensive coordinator, all but for like 5 minutes, let's just say, because he only started 10 games in the league that year, and Bill Lazor only could have done a little bit with him. 2021, 2022, you got John DeFilippo and Andrew Jernko, two guys that really couldn't hold water in the game as QB coaches, trying to teach this style of athlete how to process NFL defenses and how to, and read and react and go to your correct reads. He's just been a product of bad coaching, man. I think that what we have here now in Atlanta has elevated by 100, man. I already mentioned Zach Robinson. I mentioned the quarterback that he's had, that went through him and his offensive skills and tutelage by Baker Mayfield, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford as a recent. Everybody has produced under that.
Bo, do you still at the MARTA? The station? You waiting for the Uber?
Oh, that's a train?
I didn't know if you was in the background.
I
didn't know if you was in the background.
That's the Bachelor Express.
I'm about to say, which one y'all at the MARTA doing the podcast? This is real shit.
Yeah.
This is real. This is so Atlanta.
No, Chase got to go outside and pick out the pallets on the train.
Yeah. Not Red Dead Redemption. That is
every day.
Every day. That's a classic game, bro.
Chase got a shipment coming in.
Got a shipment of candy. Send one this way, bro. I need another one, man.
Berto, Chase, Bodie. Chase, man, you've done a great job not only being a podcaster, but a Falcons fan, and you have a lot to say about the quarterback issue here. You spoke on it last night too as well. Of course, every Falcon fan is going to want, even from the coaching to the head coach to the OC to the DC. Chase, what do you see in the NFL right now? And of course, how could it relate to the Falcons? And then has your draft position or any of your thoughts about quarterback changed in the past 24 hours? Or are you still heading that same lane?
Man, as a fan, it could go any way, man. It's really going to tell what happens in free agency. You got a lot, like Berto said, your vets are not very 5-star vets that you're looking at here to come in Atlanta and put you over that hump that you're looking for this year. You could go a Justin Fields route, a young guy, like you said, somebody that you could coach up. Some people would say you could do the same with the guy that you drafted in Ritter, but he also as well wasn't that first-round draft pick. My route, I really, really, really want to go the young guy. I want to go get the young rookie. I know they want it now, but I want the young rookie, something that we can look forward to for, like I said last night, 3 to 4 seasons, 5 seasons of winning, actually having a franchise quarterback again, somebody that can be with a Zach Robinson, a good quarterback coach, somebody that's coached Matthew Stafford, won Super Bowl rings. My pick in the draft, and the guy that I'm really keyed on, I mean, obviously if you get the 1, you take Caleb Williams. I mean, that's kind of just known, but I don't think you trade the number 1. I think maybe you could work something out to get to the number 4 spot, number 3 spot, and possibly draft a Jaden Daniels or a Drake May here in Atlanta. 2 guys that are both solid. Some people would say Drake May is a little more progressed than what Jaden Daniels is. That some people say Jaden Daniels could even possibly sit a year to get some more. So even if you go the vet route, I'm saying you can still possibly make that move for that rookie quarterback if that's what you want to do for the future. But a name that Alberto brought up that I've talked about little about is Carson Wentz. I was talking to some Falcon fans. They brought up Carson Wentz. And, it's something to think about. But Carson Wentz, my first pick to Atlanta, definitely not. Definitely want to go the rookie route, but whoever's in Atlanta at the end of the day, I'm going to rep them, and it is what it is.
So even wanted to touch on that quickly before Bodie jumps in here. Now, the Carson Wentz situation, Berto and Bodie too as well. If Scott mentioned Sam Darnold the other night on the podcast, right? And he was talking about as a backup, it's a cheap move that you can make. It's a veteran guy who's been in a system that might know how to coach or mentor a young rookie quarterback that you may go get. So when you hear Carson Wentz's name, you're not throwing his name in there as the starter, Falcon fans.
Correct.
He would be your backup. And then, of course, if Ritter's still on the roster, because you're not going to pay Ritter shit. I mean, Ritter ain't making them. What is he making? A couple, 2-3 million or so this year? That's it. Taylor Heineke going to probably cut him. So you're probably going to have Ritter, a veteran quarterback who's mid-tier C level, which can be your Sam Darnold, which can be your Gardner Minshew. But if you go get that rookie and you believe it's that rookie and that's that guy, that's the guy to go get. So I don't want fans believing that, one time for the fan or Dirty Fanatics United said Carson Wentz is the starting quarterback. No, right. He would be a backup because of them knowing him from the Rams. And then, of course, being over here in Atlanta, a system that he can go and mentor a Jaden Daniels or a Drake May, if that seems to be the case. But however route this seems to go, we're going to find out. Bodie and then Berto, if you want to speak on that too as well.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, like you said, the Carson Wentz thing, that would be a backup thing. He probably won't get a chance to be a starter again unless somebody gets hurt. He's signed somewhere, somebody gets hurt, you get an opportunity like that. But, that's a if chance. If was a fifth, we'd be drunk. And there were what's his name? Low say that. Low say that, right?
Shout out Big Low, man.
Shout out Big Low. Love Big Low. But yeah, I mean, we got our situations, but that's the thing. It's gonna be tough to trade up. I 1000% expect him to inquire about the 1 pick, the 2 pick, the 3 pick for sure. We'll see how the draft falls. Maybe one of those quarterbacks slip out of the first 3 picks. You never know. That would be something.
That would be great.
It would be something. Yeah, that means we need to talk to the Cardinals.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
I can see
Cardinals, they don't have to pick there. They do not. So, but that's a whole nother story. Right. I mean, we got quite the options if we don't get one of the top 3 quarterbacks. I mean, it's slim. I do not expect Kirk Cousins to be here. It'd be tough to pay him after his injury, and it's just that's a stretch. I mean, we're looking at Russell Wilson. Looking at that, he would be an option, but
3 years, $36 million.
That's
it'd be something.
If that's the rumored Atlanta
No,
Falcons,
we wouldn't be taking the contract. I think if anything, they'll cut him, and then we'll just sign him to a vet minimum because whatever team signs him, they pay him whatever, and then the Broncos cover the rest of his old contract. So that's how that works. So it'll be a vet minimum for anybody's team. So that's slim pickings. I'm not excited about that. Doesn't get my juices flowing. And I keep going back to Justin Fields. That's the thing. Berto said it. I mean, I don't want to look at Justin Fields. He's 25. Okay.
Yeah.
Most people think this is the best he could be, and that is unfair to Justin because he has been riddled, as Berto said, by terrible coaching, by a team in his second season rebuilding. So he had to work. He turned shit into sugar. Okay, and that was tough. Let's be real. He did rush for 1,000 yards in that season when they won 3 games, and it's ugly. The paper is ugly. It's ugly. The wins aren't there, but I mean, you got to look at what he had to deal with. Okay, I'm not advocate. I'm not saying I want Fields. It's gonna be. No, I'm not. Dan. I'm not saying I don't want Fields. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying if we don't get any of the top 3 rookies, which I preferably that's my preference. I would want to get one of those 3 guys. If we don't get him, you got a Fields you can mold like clay into your guy, and we got some good minds in our coaching staff. So there's that. That's the next best option to me, honestly, because I don't think Kirk Cousins is a viable option. You could go Russell. I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be happy about it either. But I know that Russell is smart up here. Okay, like the man still got something left in the tank. He got something to prove too, especially after Denver just fucked over his goddamn resume. Oh my god, everybody thinks Russell just pure BS now, and
the stats prove that Russell still got it. The stats prove
that
you
got something. The stats says he doesn't make mistakes. Like he had threw for 26 touchdowns and like single-digit interceptions. Like,
9 interceptions last year.
9 interceptions.
Hey, it's not
and
bad.
a falling apart Denver Bronco team.
And that would have got us first place easily. We would have coached the first place if we had.
That would probably have you right now playing in the Super Bowl right now, honestly.
One can hope.
But you have to look at the situations of Russell being a family man, and we might be too Atlanta for him. There's a lot going on down here.
That's just so whack, man. It is so fucking whack.
7:30 in the morning. 7:30 in the morning. Chase, I sent it to you.
Look, anybody who's hanging that hat on that future shit is just ridiculous to me. That's ridiculous. That man, if it makes sense for him to come down here and play football, he'll come down here and play football.
You have a bad meal at one of your favorite restaurants 2 weeks ago.
I get what you're saying. It would be humiliating. It would be fucking. I mean, you'd have to live around it for sure. You'd be in the city around it, but.
How do you not live around it? This is Atlanta. The culture is meant to bash if you're not good. The one moment you slip up, we will let you know. Matter of fact, by the time you get signed, we're already in the chats tagging your wife and him and every media company, and all the media blogs going to be going down. As a family man coming to the end of his career,
people are cruel.
I don't have to play for that.
Cruel, man.
I do not have to play for that. I can go to a Minnesota team that wants me, a Raiders team that wants me, a Washington team that wants me, who they're all going to give me the same money that you got, and I don't have to deal with none of those problems.
Let's say Russell goes to a Washington team needing a quarterback. That's
that
a
win-win for us. That would be the
best fit
to reunite with.
We talked about it today. His connection with Dan Quinn. I mean, that's right. You won a Super Bowl with this guy, and he's the head coach now of a team that needs a quarterback or a veteran to come coach Sam Howell. However you look at it, that seems to be a fit. Apparently, the rumor of your wife is a Raiders fan.
Patriots.
But
the Patriots can make a move as well. You never know. Gerard Mayo's the new head coach. But I'm rooting out of it for Russell. I'm out of it.
I would say this. If we don't get one of the top rookies, then our fan base is going to be sick. Like part of our fan base is going to be sick because they're going to end up with a Russell Wilson. We're going to end up with I don't know, God knows who. Might end up with a dang Justin Fields, and that's going to make some people sick. But that's the thing, though. You got to open your mind. You got to think glass half full, especially if we trust we got to trust the process. Ain't that they kept saying that in the presser. Trust the process. Trust the process. I trust them. They bring Justin in here. I trust that Zach Robinson will turn that man into a good quarterback for this city. I do.
It's not even just Mateo about the future fans. It's about the ones who just want to be for the spotlight, for the moment. I've seen single game ticket fans yelling at Desmond Ridder, knowing that you're not a season ticket holder, because I've never seen your ass here in this stadium before. Chase, Bodie, you know who I am. I've never seen you here before. But you're trying to make your viral moment yelling at Ridder.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't even know who the fuck Ridder is.
And you're I just want to win.
So just imagine when Russell throws his first interception or his first sack. Bro, I'm telling you, man, I don't want to deal with it. And Falcons, first of all, the Falcons don't like to deal with the outside interactions. Too. They don't like to deal with none of that shit.
None of that, man. That's too much outside noise coming into a very,
way too much
organization. They don't. They don't want
from
it.
the player to the campaign. They don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
You can bring the biggest wide receiver could be on the board right now. If he got 55 million TikTok viewers and he's doing it every day during practice, we're not taking him. I don't give a damn how much he costs.
Yeah.
That's Arthur Blank's mentality, man. And do not step on that logo in the locker room too. We're gonna bust your ass.
Damn. See, I will say this is gonna be the most interesting offseason I've ever seen as a Falcons fan.
No doubt.
Because I literally don't know what the hell we're gonna do.
Yeah, we thought last year was fine. This year,
it's not out of the question either to trade up, man. A lot of people hang their hat on. Oh, if you're moving from 8 to 4, oh my God, it's too much compensation. It really isn't. If you look at it, once it boils down, it's by point metric. Right now the Falcons' 8th overall pick is worth 1,400 points. The Cardinals at 4 is worth 1,800 points. That's only 400 points that you have to move up. That can entail to just a future round pick, a swap in a future round pick. It doesn't necessarily have to be a lot. Atlanta could be looking at that right now and saying, oh, you know what? Let's run it. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's get it done. We'll switch picks and we'll win a future first for next year, and that'll be it. It might be enough to entice the Arizona Cardinals. They may ask for a player in return, but who do you give up? Who are you willing to sacrifice in that aspect? But that's a different topic right there. You know what I mean? Because it is a business, and there will be folks on the chopping block, unfortunately. But it's not out of the question, man. So really, Atlanta at 8 sit in a prime position to depending on how their free agency shapes it to be. If they feel like they covered all their bases in free agency, you can probably expect a very aggressive Atlanta team when it comes to draft time, man. We saw what Raheem learned from Les Snead and F them picks. It could be that mantra coming here in Atlanta too. And we're in striking distance to acquire one of these top tier talents, whether at a position, whether it's offensive tackle, wide receiver, or even quarterback. So it's not out of the question.
And that's the thing. If they could be on that F them pick shit, because if you want to go get your guy at the top of the draft,
you're gonna do it. Yeah,
F them fucking picks. Okay, like I say F and fucking insane. Anyway,
shit.
Fuck them picks because it just like look. I'm gonna stop myself anyway. But that's the thing. You see your guy at the top of the draft, go get him.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck them picks. Okay. I mean, it can't get more outrageous than what the damn Panthers traded last. I mean, it'd probably be something to match that. That was crazy. But that's the thing. We're not going to be as bad as the fucking Panthers were because we won't be at the number 1 pick the next season. So I ain't worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
So F them picks. You want go get Caleb? Go get Caleb, Drake May, whoever the fuck it is. Go get him. That's my number 1 on my list. That's my number 1.
Yeah. So the crazy thing about it is too, when you're looking at it, Falcon fans, there's different scenarios you can look at. And for the Falcon fans in the chat, I'm not against Russell Wilson. Berto, I told you that is my vet pick.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I want him. You put the distractions aside.
I'm not
of the situation. Russell. But if I'm a family man, I haven't had these problems being away from Atlanta. And now I'm going to Atlanta where that can happen. Yeah. First of all, when I was in Seattle, you guys shitted on me hard when I was in Seattle. 2016, it was bash me week down in this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm. And we weren't that ass.
We got to see past that, Falcon fans. If you get a guy that had, what you say, Bodie? 26 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Winning culture. I know I can see past that. I was with the bashing of Russell in 2016 because I was a fan. I was in the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all flying, they flying from the West Coast. They flying from Seattle to come to Atlanta. Nah, y'all Seahawks fans were in front of me like, where the fuck are y'all coming? Where are y'all coming from? Yeah, who are y'all? Who the fuck bought these tickets? Because I'm a diehard Falcon fan, so I was representing my fan base. Years later, it's a different story. I need a quarterback.
Yeah,
this guy could be available, and he's very good for his age and for a system with Zach Robinson, Raheem Morris, and some of this coaching staff. I think Bijan Robinson would appreciate it. Drake London and Russell and Kyle Pitts would appreciate it. But it's something to look at here as a Falcon fan, because there are different scenarios that the draft can help you with and free agency can help you with. But Berto, Chase, and Bodie, the Bears do control a lot here because
100%.
when March 1st or whenever that season starts, you are looking at the Bears watching pretty much the NFL watching the Bears.
Mhm.
You have a quarterback that you can either trade and get hella value for. You already got the
We
ninth
do
pick.
agree. We
Go
do
ahead.
agree. This trade will be made before draft night, correct?
Oh hell yeah! Oh hell
Again,
yeah!
if we're skipping on bets,
I
this
think
trade
so.
will definitely be made.
Would you be better off with the splash of getting the trade on draft night? Like, if you knew 3 days before that we was the second pick, would you feel better about that? Would you rather have the on-site moment where, holy shit, the Falcons just, what's going on here?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That type of
crazy.
moment when you're at the draft. You know, how would you guys feel about that?
That's a good question, man.
I feel like if you're gonna pass up on your vet, if you're not gonna make the move on the vet, you're stuck with a Desmond Ridder and a draft pick. Okay, if you're gonna make sure that Desmond's not your QB1 heading into next season, which I do not believe he is, I feel like you're not gonna take that chance draft night to miss that guy. I feel like you want to go ahead and have that in your bag, knowing, okay, we got the number 2 pick in the draft. We come in here, we get our guy, we get out, we go to the next round. I just feel like you're safe. That's the safer way. The draft night conclusion, that would be crazy. I mean, it'd be high as a fan to see your team move up from 8 all the way up to 2 or 1.
Mm-hmm.
But to know your team's coming in at a solid spot, that's my route.
Mm-hmm.
If there's business moves fans can look at, and then there's just fans can look at. But that 30 million in cap space that you try to get over, that 45 million by cutting some people and readjusting this roster, restructures too as well, you got to look at. And also Terrell's contract, and if they're gonna get a pass rusher, you got to build that depth through this, free agency and draft too. Terry being a trade guy sometimes, and he's also a draft as well. A lot of his draft guys that's been drafted here are playing in Atlanta, so I can see them using those 6-7 picks to go get guys in the draft that they need, because they had success with Helms, they had success with Troy Anderson before the injury, they had success with Bergeron, so they're loving, I guess, Terry's draft method seems to be working well when you got Clark Phillips getting the positions that he's been getting recently, and you got some of these guys that's like the D. Alford, who is the walk-on too as well, who had his shine, and it's working well together. Where, who mentioned it last night? Was it Dan? You got 42 sacks without this star pass rusher, Ryan Nielsen's scheme. So where does the talk of Dan saying spend it all on a pass rusher? If Dallas Turner is at 8, that means you went to get your guy in the free agency. Dallas Turner's your pass rusher, and you can build around some of these guys. You spend some cheaper money rather than spending $23 million for a Daniel Hunter or trying to get some of these guys. But Dan was on point. That's why we love doing these panels, because so many different opinions. But Berto, what you got, man?
Yeah, man. To that, about spending all on just one pass rushing prospect, and how we had 42 sacks. 21 more sacks than we had last year, by the way. I looked at it like this, and I was looked at weird when I said this. I want quality over quantity, quantity over quality is what I want, right? There's a lot of, quality pass rushers that we can get in abundance of, and I mean abundance meaning 1 or 2 guys. I look at guys like Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd has a history with Coach Ra, and let me say this, man, and I threw this stat out there last night and see how it sits in here too. He has 38.5 sacks dating back to 2020. He's been a top pass rusher for the past 3 years. Oh, by the way,
and he's a free agent.
Coach, and he's a free agent. Put up 10.5 sacks last year in Buffalo. He knows Coach Ra's system, so he's a plug and play type of guy that you're gonna get some serious sack numbers. You look at Buffalo. You look at AJ Epinesa. That's another guy that's been when he was drafted in 2019 has had nothing but sack numbers. Not the double-digit sack numbers, but consistently 7 to 8 in his respected years. You look at what Indianapolis did yesterday. I think they last year they finished up with 56 sacks, and they had 3 players with over 7 sacks. They didn't have one guy with double-digit sacks. So you got to look at things like that. You have to. It makes for better business sense. And the guys that I mentioned aren't going to break the bank. So it'll allow you to be more fluid in free agency and shore up the depth, shore up other avenues within the team. So like you said, pouring all your resources into one guy like Danielle Hunter, I know he comes with it all.
Intensity and the energy and the
absolutely
the stats
man.
to go in there and prove that he is who Daniel Hunter is. Yes.
But you can get for his price, you can get 2 other guys. And you know what's something that we kind of reverted back to as the season was progressing was our depth. our depth was challenged at the end of the year. We started getting blown out in games like Chicago and things like that because our depth was depleted. And we really didn't have a healthy rotation. I mean, we had guys like LaCale London and Taquan Graham starting the game for us. Those are backup guys on any other squad. You know, we just need a constant flow of these high energy sack guys or high energy players. So that's what I wanted to, you know, piggyback on what you were saying about Danielle Hunter. Jack.
And it does go into the free agency, and Bodie, you can touch on this too before we get to the next segment. But the for Falcon fans here, I mean, you don't have 80, 90, $100 million where you're finna go get all these big splash players. And Terry's not finna put us in cap hell either. He just got us out of it. So being as smart as Terry is, you see in the press conference, as happy as he is, Raheem, they're talking about building. They keep mentioning home. They keep mentioning like this bond they want to build. It kind of felt like the brotherhood again. I ain't gonna lie. I text my home like, bro, just the brotherhood again. Like, are we back? Like, should they put the painting back on the wall outside the locker room? Because you're getting that vibe with Coach from the pictures of the handshakes and the vibe and the laugh. I told you, Berto, I ain't see that with Coach Smith, and I'm telling you right now, I ain't see that vibe.
How you doing?
Like, business, how you doing? What'd you do today? Did they run the ball?
Yeah.
Perfect. Talk to you later. I didn't see that.
It was so robotic, man.
I didn't see that. I saw like, hey man, we finna go out and get a couple beers afterwards, you know, talk some football, XYZ, maybe however. But it seemed like more of a bond and a vibe that they both was prepared for. Raheem mentioning that he's been waiting for the callback from Terry, and he had the game plan ready since the first interview of what he wanted to do. Just imagine anybody in the chat, just imagine you being the new head coach of this football team when they ask you, what is your plans for Bijan? And now we heard from the press conference and, of course, the fan interview that I was in afterwards, we now know what's being asked in these interviews. It's the same questions that we've been talking about. The coach, the coaching staff, the team, the quarterback, the draft, the franchise. They don't give a fuck what you ate for breakfast. They don't care where you shop. They don't care what time your plane leaves because they know what time your plane leaves. They want to get to the nitty gritty. How are you going to help this franchise? And where are you going to help this franchise? Exactly. I think they loved Raheem's approach more than they did the Belichick approach because the rumors of, people's going to get fired and the culture may change and coaches may leave versus hearing players want to play for this guy. Coaches want to stay here and coach with this guy. I think the fire is like kind of lit for most fans. Berto and Bodie.
You can see it. You can see it when he first sat down. The first words that came out of his mouth. Hey, loosen up, guys. We're here to have fun. Like that's just off rip. You see how he's gonna be in the city. Like he's gonna be that fun-loving guy that all his players love him for a reason. My guy is he's really touched a lot of lives and really just that energy, like I said last night, is infectious. This just rubs off on people and it just makes you want to run straight through a brick ass wall for him. Like that's just crazy for me. That's crazy. And I think this is the new way of the league. This is the new way. Gone is that old school way of get her done, just do your job, all that. Done is that. Okay, it's just a new way. It's a new crop of people. It's a new mindset when it comes to these players, and these players they just want to have fun now. It's just a different. That's the vibe I get from.
Might get Clay back even in the building with all that too as well.
Man.
Man, doing the goddamn dirty bird on every tackle.
You don't do the dirty bird for 1 year. I mean, that was cool,
man.
but
hell
you
no,
get another
you don't.
season up out of you. You got to clean
You
the dirty
gotta
bird
come
up.
back.
You
You gotta come back,
man.
Falcon fans.
Can I speak real quick? Can I
Yeah, go
speak?
ahead.
I'm gonna back up on what Berto said about the quantity over quality. I mean, that's so real right now. You know what I'm saying? Who says that you must have a 14 sack guy in your on your team? Like who said just because that's the way it's been for the past X amount of years? Like different things have changed. Like I said, the league is changing. Gone are the old school ways of coaching. Gone are the ways of being able to be successful by having one guy get freaking 13 sacks and the other team supplement it. Like I love the fact that all these people can put in core sacks. That means you got a lot of you got a lot of threats all over the field, and I love that. That's so inspiring to me. That is a thing. And yeah, not spending money on a top tier rusher, or just putting all your eggs in one basket, hoping this guy is it, and then he end up not being it, and then next thing you know, you're resetting the whole thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So you made a great point there, Berto. That quantity over quality thing is very serious, and who says we can't be, we can't change the game with that.
Absolutely, man. We got some guys on the squad now. AK, he's up and coming. Who knows? 3 might be the year where he breaks the hell out, and then we add pieces on defense. That's another arsenal that you got.
I'm so fucking excited about Zach Harrison. I think.
Oh my God. Sky's the limit,
you don't
man.
understand how excited I am for that guy.
Yeah, man.
That dude is a former 5-star in college. He underachieved in college, but everybody said he was going to be a better pro than college player. And showing what we saw at the end of last season, man, the sky's the limit, like you said.
I'm a Madden guy too. I play Madden every now and then. Bert, I be whooping up on folks, man. But at 72 rated in Madden, Zach Harrison gave me 13 sacks on the season. I was like, bro, 72 rated, getting me 13 sacks on the season. Are you kidding me? But
sign of things to come.
There's a lot of things going on here, Falcon fans, when it comes to this team. We love talking Falcons football. Berto from 95 North Falcons Talk Show is here. Chase had to leave, but, we always give big shout-outs to Dirty Fanatics United. He's also a co-host here at One Time for the Fan. We're going to move on to the next topic because just the quarterback topic alone and the chat went overboard. But that's what happens when you have diehard Falcon fans in the chat and, of course, podcasters like ourselves who love talking with the Falcons community. John Moreno, of course, we do read the questions here on the screen, and we do see the chat from time to time. You asked the question the past 2 podcasts, and we couldn't get to it, but it's been very important to us. And looking at the schedule this year, John Moreno, we do have to talk about this. Are the Falcons going to have any primetime games this coming year? Looking at the schedule and the look of your team right now, it's very much so possible you're going to get your primetime games back here, either in Atlanta or on the road. For Rise Up Tour fans, hey, we might get a primetime game on the road, which would be great. But your home games show that there should be a primetime game in Atlanta. You have the Chiefs coming to Atlanta. You have the Steelers coming to Atlanta. You also have the Cowboys coming to Atlanta as well. You go to Philly. You also go to Vegas and Denver. So I think somewhere along the line, even with Denver, they had a couple primetime games last year. Somewhere along the line, you're going to get 1 or 2 primetime games. For me, I always talked about that 1 o'clock vibe in Atlanta, Berto, is just kind of weird for Falcon fans. We love the tailgate. We got some church folks out here too as well. They want to get out and get home and not have to rush to the MARTA. A 4:25 game I was even asking for once or twice every now and then. Get the tailgates more lit. Get the city on fire a little bit more. Just imagine the amount of people who's going to show up to that game at 4:25 knowing that they can do everything they want to do in Atlanta. Hell, they can hit the fucking club before they come to the game if they wanted to. That's what Atlanta said.
Hello.
But if the strip club is open, they can hit the club. It's 4:20. It's going to be a 4:25 game.
Yeah, 4 o'clock game. Yeah.
But you might see the pregnant strippers, but that's
that's tough.
Come on, man.
God, I was getting ready to get to it. But for the Falcon fans, not the pregnant strippers, Bodie. Why'd you have to go there with that one, Bodie? Like, come on. We got out of towners in the chat like, I'm not going to Atlanta for them stripping, boy.
Man.
I believe Bodie. I believe him.
Come on, they keep the good ones at night. Not that I know.
Oh my God.
I don't go anywhere.
Falcon fans, I tell you what, man. We do not deal with the pregnant strippers here on One Time for the Fan. I guarantee you. If we're throwing
the comments of Bodie 3000 is only objective for him and only him.
I was about to say, yeah, man. You would advised.
Next podcast will be about pregnant strippers. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast. I asked for the 4:25 games, Berto and Bodie. But if you get an 8:30 Sunday night game here versus the Cowboys this season or the Chiefs this season, you were talking about, especially with a winning record Falcons team. Bodie, I'm gonna let you just chip in right there, and then Berto too as well. How would y'all feel about having a winning record, and then having a primetime game, or just having a primetime game in Atlanta in general? Or do you see us having primetime games this season?
Man, it's looking good. Especially we get a a good quarterback or a good face here, it's looking good. I think the league really takes that. They look into that. They look into, who we got, what we're, what we're working with. I think if we get a good quarterback here, then that's where they'll go. If we got somebody in here, then that'll be tough. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's the truth. I mean, let's keep it a buck. Like that's what the league looks at. The league is very biased, and they hate us since the Super Bowl year. They really fucking hate us. I mean, the only last primetime game I remember is when we faced the goddamn Panthers on a Thursday night 2 years ago.
The rain game.
Like,
The rain
yeah.
game.
Yeah, that was there too. We lost that one. That's when
Oh,
Foreman went crazy.
is that the one where
the
Ritter threw the interception?
the Mariota.
The Mariota threw the interception.
Down Falcon throw.
Off the interception off his ass cheek. Yeah.
I told you this. We were talking. I don't even consider Thursday night games a thing, man. Everybody gets a Thursday night game, man. The essential ones is that Sunday night and that Monday night.
Exactly.
Brothers, man. I'll tell you this, man. Me as a fan, my stomach will be in knots. Waiting for that 8:30 game, just anxiously waiting, excited as hell. But let me ask you guys this, man. Do you guys remember when the last meaningful primetime game we had? Do y'all remember by chance? And chat, if you know, please throw it in there. Just to test y'all real quick.
Primetime game.
Oh, man. I should know this, but I don't because it
on the home or away.
It was home.
Got to be at home.
At home. It was home.
Enlighten us.
Man, I think it was week 2 against the Philadelphia Eagles where Julio took it to the house.
Oh my gosh.
I remember
when he went through the end zone and did the
and did the duck his head. Yeah.
Yep.
That was so beautiful.
That was already 4 years ago.
Shit.
We've been shunned out of any meaningful primetime games ever since. Again, like I mentioned, man, for me, and that's my opinion. I don't feel like Thursday night is really a primetime game, even though they been up to be that. Everybody gets in on the Thursday action. As a matter of fact, I don't even think we got one this year. This past year, I don't think we even had a Thursday.
We had the London game. We had the
London games. All right, yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, for me, man, as a fan, like I mentioned, man, I'd have knots in my stomach all day just waiting. I mean, if I was in Atlanta, I'd probably be setting up shop early, tailgating, and just revving up with the fans and stuff like that. Just trying to bring all that, as much energy as I possibly could. Something like that would mean so much to the city, man. I just know, man. I just know it would be. Oh man, it would be a sight to see.
Falcon fans, I'm telling you, listen to Berto, listen to Bodie. Y'all been to these games. Y'all been to the home game. Y'all been to the Benz. The 1 o'clock game. Some of y'all getting off the martyr at 1:15. We done already kicked off, man.
Yeah.
Some of y'all getting to the game. I ain't gonna lie. I done seen it. Some of y'all getting to the game in the third quarter. I see some of y'all wrapping up your tailgates around second quarter because the food wasn't finished cooking because you got out there at 10:30 and auntie ain't bring the pasta till 11:45. And your cousins them couldn't get to where you was parked at for the tailgate. They want to hang out. Then you got to wrap up all your stuff and head in the stadium. We're already in the second quarter. But if you get a primetime game at 8:30 at night,
all day to party.
All day to party. I guarantee you, when they blow that horn an hour and a half to let you know that the gates are open, man, fans will be lined up.
You know how many ribs I can make on the grill in that time span? You know how many slab of ribs? It's gonna be some serious eating, brother. I'll tell you that, man.
The cool thing about it is, and I hope Atlanta, does get this, this vibe back. But when I went to Cleveland a couple years ago for the Falcons Browns game, they let us know that I think the parking lots open up the night before for the Browns fans, so they can go in there and hang out and start setting up and tailgating. But when they open up in the morning, they're there. You know what I'm saying? I went to the Georgia-Florida game too as well. The game wasn't until 3:30. We started tailgating at 7 in the morning. The parking lot grounds were open at 6. By the time we got out there, we barely had a chance to park at 7. We were sitting in traffic really at 7 in the morning.
You got to get there early.
That's the Georgia-Florida game in Jacksonville, and that was for a 3:30 game. Come on, Falcon fans. Give us 2 or 3 primetime games this year.
Man.
Past 4 o'clock, we're tearing this shit up. We're shutting it down.
Facts, man.
So, yes, I do see the Falcons getting primetime games this year. You have a new head coach. They seem to be excited about this franchise with Terry. Arthur Smith is out. You still got Bijan and this talent. They're going to bring in a new quarterback. They got this star-studded defense with Jesse Bates too as well. I do see a primetime game. Plus, your schedule is in your favor. You have America's team on AFC and NFC coming in. You got the Chiefs, and you got or the Steelers, however you want to look at it. Because when the Steelers show up, it's time to play some football because their fan base is finna show up. What you don't want, Falcon fans, is getting that primetime game and selling your fucking tickets because you're playing the Cowboys at you know how the Cowboys travel. They're finna show up in numbers, right? Especially for a primetime game. They're gonna love this. So I do see the Bens lighting it up this season for another primetime game. More so home than on the road. But your road games, you got the Vikings, you got the Eagles. Some fans are saying, hey, send us to Brazil week 1. You know, it's possible. I mean, we'll see. But the Vikings game, if they make that a big game, I don't see that as a primetime game. Not really too flashy there. But then again, they just throw teams out. Who else you got? You got to go to Denver. You got to go to, you got Jim Harbaugh coming to Atlanta. You got some meaningful games here now. You have Jim Harbaugh coming with the Chargers, who for Falcon fans, they wanted Harbaugh.
Yeah.
So that's big. He's coming to Atlanta to play against us. You're playing against Washington in Washington. Coach Quinn.
That's the dark horse one. I was just going to mention that one, man.
That's big too as well. And anywhere else that coaches and players end up where fans got beef. I think fans got beef with the Saints.
We're playing the Steelers with We're playing the Steelers with Arthur Smith.
Steelers with Arthur Smith too as well as the offensive coordinator. And they're coming to Atlanta. So, and for Arthur Smith now, he knows now he's bringing the fan base with him. I'm telling you right now, he's bringing the Steelers.
Look, this terrible times was there before Arthur Smith. That's all I got to say.
He might coach from the booth.
Exactly. His ass ain't going
to be on the I know his ass going to be on the field.
Watch him come back with the hat and sunglasses like Mr. Miyagi.
Oh my God!
Come back. In the hat.
Hey, he gonna come back with that damn Steelers yellow and black on. They gonna stone his ass. Like they gonna he going to the booth. How much over or under he go to the booth?
Yeah, that'd be a good bet. It'd be a good bet.
Yeah.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We love talking Falcons football. That's why we are here talking Falcons football. The chat is going crazy. I'm looking through the comments. It's a lot of people to put on the podcast screen right here. We do love reading the comments here, but when we have a special guest, it's kind of difficult to get everybody's comment. But you know that we do enjoy reading these comments on the screen. Mateo, Ghost Peppers, Lisa Shepard, Carrie, Jeff Wolf, Georgia, Texas boys in the chat, Jeremiah Weems, Dirty Fanatics United jump back in, Travis Preston, Pam. Shout out Auntie Pam. Auntie Pam has been such a diehard.
All love
Falcon fans. Auntie Pam wants a Super Bowl. We need to go ahead and get a Super Bowl for Auntie Pam. Anthony White is in the chat too as well. Brandon Keeler is here in the chat. A1 Forever's in the chat. Uncle Steve's Lounge is here in the chat too as well. LaMarcus Boyd is in the chat. The Dixon raid was real. They are still in the chat here. A lot of content creators. A lot of Falcon fans, Berto. So we do appreciate this time tonight. We do have one more topic before we get up out of here. Ghost Peppers said, "What's good, Dirty Bear fam?" Lance Sterling draft analyst did a mock draft 1.0. He has the Falcons trading with the Chargers and taking Drake May at 5. What are y'all thoughts on this move? Now I'll go over this quarterback thing quickly. This will be a hot take because we can spend another hour on it.
Oh gosh.
But this is a quick hot take, maybe like a minute or less. For me, I have Drake May in my top 5 of quarterbacks that I wouldn't mind seeing here in Atlanta. Right? I'm not gonna hate on any one of these NFL players. I don't play in the fucking NFL. If these guys are to come over here and help me win as a fan, let's do it. If it's gonna be Bo Nix, let's fucking go. But I don't have him in my top 5. Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, if he is available, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. And what's my other boy? What's the
Caleb Williams?
Yeah, Caleb Williams. So those guys right there. I had Penix up there, but I pulled him out just a little bit. But I might throw him back.
Pulled him out after the fucking Michigan game. Absolutely.
Drake Mays.
I mean, come on.
Drake Mays. Go look at his not only his stats, but just his quarterback size. This kid's like what 6'3", 6'4",
6'4",
220, 230. He's built like apparently like a Josh Allen from what I'm seeing. And he's mobile. He has a fucking cannon as an arm. I know you guys talking about ACC football. I don't give a fuck if he played Syracuse 20 times a day. They're a football team, right? Yeah. And the kid can throw it. He did a good job at UNC. But on to you, Berto. I have no problem with Drake.
Me neither. Yeah, very accurate. I view him more as like that Justin Herbert type guy. He can razzle dazzle you with his arm, but he can also move out the pocket, and you could do a lot of things with him schematically, especially in the Zach Robinson offense. Now that he might be the best prototypical fit in this offense right now because he can give you a little bit of both worlds. He could sit back and carve you up. But he could also use his legs as well. There's a lot of discussion about Caleb Williams, but to me, I see Caleb Williams as an improv quarterback. He has to do a lot. He improvises way too much. One thing, if you look back at a lot of his tape, he doesn't throw a lot with his feet set, and feet are critical, to a quarterback. That's your base. That's where you're releasing. Your accuracy comes from that. So watching him do that a lot in UFC, he made the bulk of his plays on the run, man. I need to see a little bit more, and not to mention the baggage that he brings with him. He's kind of diva-ish type, as a lot of scouts have been saying about him. He complains a lot. We don't need that added attention. We need winners. Drake
how much you made to go to class this year? I mean, most NIL deals get these kids kind of jacked up on Mountain Dew every now and then.
Yeah, man. So Drake May would probably be the safest pick at this moment, given what this offense is the necessity in this offense is. I think Drake May can check all those boxes there for him.
A quick question for you, Berto. Frank just texted me. Shedeur Sanders, would you hold out for Shedeur Sanders next year? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right, Bodie.
That's a no for me too.
Drake May.
All right. I'm gonna answer that, and I'm gonna answer Lisa.
Okay.
But the Drake May move, yes. I mean, that's a top prospect, man. I mean, I loved it. I had to go back look at the kid's tape. I mean, the kid, he had a down year last year, but the year before that was his year. Like, he tore it up.
Mm-hmm.
I love him, man. I mean, he's very, like, the Justin Herbert comparison is spot on. I mean, they're damn near one and the same, and that's the thing. And you're going back. I'm gonna piggyback even off your Caleb Williams take. The improviser role. Like, there's only one great improviser. I mean, good God, Patrick Mahomes is the greatest improvising quarterback I've ever seen. He's gonna end up being the greatest fucking quarterback that ever breathed God's wonderful air. I mean, that's just what it's gonna be. They compared him to Mahomes. There's only one Mahomes. He's not gonna be Mahomes. I don't think anybody can touch Mahomes, but that's a whole nother story. But that would be very ideal. Hell, I'd do you one better, Ghost Peppers. If Drake May doesn't get drafted in the top 3, I'm calling the fucking Cardinals. Okay, like I'm just trying to get there. But if we can call the Chargers and then they do that, yeah, I love that move for them.
If Drake May randomly slips past 3, yes, you
Absolutely.
have to pick up that phone.
I am calling the Cardinals.
Pick up the phone. Make the call.
That's real. That is real. I'm calling the Cardinals, and then.
Oh my God.
Okay, and then I answer Lisa Shepard real quick. When she said that Shanahan said that 28-3 wasn't his great, like, that is what keeps him up at night, is losing to the KC in the Super Bowl. That, I don't believe him. I don't believe him. There's no fucking way you lose a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl, and that is your greatest failure. But I think he's repping for his team right now. Let's be real. He is the San Francisco 49ers head coach right now. He's not going to dwell in the past when he was here with the Falcons, only as the OC. He's not going to do that. He's just repping his team. Okay, he's repping his team. The man is a genius. That's a genius answer. Think about it. That's a genius answer to say. He's not thinking about the Falcons. He's not going back in the past like that. He's thinking about them losing in the Super Bowl to KC, and he's trying to redeem it right now.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It is going down in a major way. Got one more topic to get through here quickly. For those that do not know, I also have an esports podcast, which begins in about 20 minutes. A big esports community that I deal with. We have a podcast that we're starting up. Last time we did the demo, the test run, had about over 500 people in there talking soccer. So this is big when it comes to the soccer fan base. Kerry, I'll actually send it to you. I know, Kerry, you're a big Manchester City fan. Go City, go blue. But yeah, we have a esports podcast which starts in about 20 minutes. But I have to ask this last question because, Berto, it's been great that you get a chance to talk with us with Falcons football, because on your platform it's been amazing. Your content is doing fanatic, major things. The numbers are going to be going crazy this year. Of course, when you're looking at what you have going on with Smitty, and then of course with jumping on everybody else's platform. Big shout out to Smitty too as well. He'll be back on the platform soon too as well.
OG Smitty.
But Berto, man, Coach Raheem Morris, head coach Raheem Morris. He's just so cool. I mean, we see the videos. We're seeing, you know, we're hearing the talks of all the coaches that, you know, love coaching with him and everything, and all the players that might want to come play for him, and the talent he could possibly bring to Atlanta from who he is now in the head coaching position. We got a little money. You got Terry beside him. Terry's a wizard when it comes to these numbers and getting players involved. But now you have him as the head coach and coach that wanted to stay in Atlanta and be here with him. What is it about Coach Smith, as we get ready to wrap up this show, to you, Berto, that just makes him not only just so cool, but a player's coach, a coach's coach for the coaches that want to stay? But what is it that just makes Raheem Morris just so cool? If you want to take football aside from it, we can. If not, throw it into the picture. But yes,
you know, to me, what sticks out is just how humble of a human being he is. You know what I mean? And that's something right off the rip that players, coaches, you know, personnel within the building just gravitate to. He's a guy that views himself, or you can see him as an approachable person that, you know, you could just talk about him about anything, just life, sports, whatever it is. With those things said, I think Coach Ra notices the big thing is ahead of him. He's getting his second opportunity, and he said that in the presser. You know, he's had time away from being a head coach. He was anointed a head coach at 32 years of age, and at 32 he had all the answers. Now you're talking to a much mature Coach Raheem that understands everything abroad, and that's the wonderful part. And that to me is what makes me say this. And I said this in the chat in Uncle Steve's platform the other day. Man, I think we're gonna receive the best version of Raheem Morris now, because he understands the game so much. He's had so much knowledge, so much knowledge acquired through his years, through the Washington staff, through the Los Angeles staff, with the Falcons, you know, now twice, but his first go around with them. So now he has all of this, and he's bringing all of this now to the table. He's like, all right, this is the way that we're going to do things. This is how I view it, and this is the way we're going to attack it. And I think that's the most important thing to get out of Coach Raheem, man. It's just he's a guy that's not afraid to thread the needle, and push the message. And his message was clear yesterday to me, man. Is, you know, it's our time. Why not us, man? So it's exciting times in Atlanta, in my opinion, man. I can't wait. I can't wait to week one and just have him call his first play and see what it is, man. It's that I'm that excited about it, man.
It's great when you got people like Berto, and then we had Scott the other night, Ricondo on here. We got a lot more special guests going to be joining us too coming up, and of course Bodie and Chase will be back, Kiki, and what we have going on here with One Time for the Fan, of all these Falcon fans' opinion of Coach Raheem Morris and the coaching staff and the schedule coming up and the draft. That's why we love doing these podcasts. Bodie, when it comes to Coach Raheem Morris, sir, for you, give us your thoughts now on why you think Raheem's so cool. You're a cool brother yourself. So tell me now, what is it about Raheem that just makes him this player's coach, the coach's coach, like just everything? Because you hear Mike Tomlin's comments, the GM of the Rams comments, Jalen Ramsey too as well. Like what makes him just so, you know, so cool?
I think he's just like Berto said, he's matured. This is the best version of coach that we've seen over the years. The situation he's been put in looks like he's learned his lesson from these situations. We can go back. He's had great opportunities, and like he said, when he coached in Tampa, he thought he knew everything. He thought he was, you know, couldn't tell him nothing. Now he knows to put smarter guys around him, and he has succeeded with that. I really do think that it's just the overcoming situation. Like I think let's go back with Belichick. Remember Belichick coached the Browns, nobody remembers. But when he did coach the Browns, they were terrible, and he got fired. And he came back a brand new person. I'm sure he learned his lessons, and now he is, you know, the greatest coach in NFL history. Um, I think he approaches the game with just a he's humble. He's humble with it.
That's right.
He doesn't have to get it all correct. Sorry, I had a phone call. It was breaking up.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
he
the
gets
car
that he
insurance
doesn't
is
have to get
it
it all
wasn't paid.
correct.
I apologize.
Oh
They
yeah,
called me
man,
too.
yeah,
They sent
yeah,
me the email.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad they contacted you. You know, like you're the guy to
The
help
emergency
me. You
contact.
know, yeah, emergency contact. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, Jack Spade is at the bottom of my fucking list. Anyway,
Shit, I'm glad you cut the phone back on. They said they couldn't get a hold of you, or you went to voicemail.
whatever. You know, they called your
Look up,
damn they called your track phone. They called your track phone. They
Oh
was like, what
bro. I
the
man.
ain't gonna
hell?
lie, chat. I was
You know,
sipping tonight,
hey,
man. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
you still got a
Yeah.
ringback tone, Jack. You still have a ringback tone. You still is it lean with it, rock with it? Is that what it is?
Oh my god.
Anyway, hey, no, don't get me. I'll be here all night. Um, what I was saying, as I was saying, yeah, coach is in a very he's in a humble position. I mean, he's
Mhm.
learned so much, and that's the thing. I hate when I don't like. Want to say hate. I respect all fans, but I don't like when fans look at his past and whatever, but they don't dig in the weeds. Okay, and it's
Mhm.
almost the same when it comes to the quarterbacks you're bringing in. People say Russell Wilson's ass, blah blah blah, but you are definitely not paying attention. You got to dig in the weeds. That's very important. People saying that Justin Fields is ass. Okay, hey, all right. Well, getting a rookie doesn't guarantee us playoff success either. You know what I'm saying? The rookie might not be ready up here, but it's deeper than that. You got to look in the weeds. Coach is ready. Coach Moore is ready to he's just ready now. You can feel it. I think he's had 15 years from the last time he was a full time head coach when he was a young guy to now. He did interim here, and that wasn't. He had to inherit Dan Quinn's staff,
Yep.
but that
Mhm.
was a thing. People hold that against him too, like, oh, well, he was interim and we lost 10 games straight or whatever it was. And no, like you can't. You gotta really dig into that, but. I feel like I said, I've been saying it all show. I feel his energy. I feel
Hmm.
his positivity.
Hmm.
I feel that he's learned to put smarter guys around him. He's when you do that, you succeed because you excel at leading men. He is the CEO of the team, and he has his guys to set other people in place and get everybody correct. So, and that's what's going to be exciting. I just want to see how the story ends, and I think it ends very well. I do.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. This has been great. Once again, you're talking Falcons football with people who enjoy being Falcons fans. No
And
matter if we win or lose, we are diehard.
Jack, let me interrupt you.
Yeah,
Let
go
me
ahead.
interrupt you. I don't want to miss Carrie's question. I know it
Oh
was
yeah.
like 5 or 10 minutes ago, but she did say Drake May or Jaden Daniels, who
Mhm.
she thinks will fit in the
Got it.
the system. Um, that's interesting. I mean, I would say, the fan base, I think the fan base gets all that Vic nostalgia. It's like, yeah, I
Mm.
hate this, bring it up. Black guy who runs the ball just ran us through there, and we had so much success with Vic and all that. We get that Vic nostalgia. We think Jaden Daniels, we probably, I wouldn't compare Drake May to Matt Ryan, but, that's the thing.
Mm.
But, I mean,
Wait
it's
till we
just
do our
both sides of
breakdown
the
of these
coin.
quarterbacks, though. I can't
I,
wait
I
till
I
we
mean I think we just have to see. That's genuinely a question. We just have to see where coach Raheem and Coach Robinson goes and thinks that the best fit for us. I mean, whatever we can get. It's just so many levels to that. Where we can pick, who's going to be on the board when we pick, you know, how we, it's just so much. It's
Mm.
so much. So, uh, I mean, it's hard to answer that question. Who will fit his scheme? I guess if you want to go with what we've seen from what Coach Robinson worked with. I mean, he's worked with the likes of Wentz and Stafford and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, but it's just hard to tell right now. But either way, I think they'll do a great job. So we just have to see. It's so early. It's so early.
It is early. And that's why we have a lot of time here on One Time for the Fan to talk Falcons football, to bring on guests like Berto and some of the special guests that we had before, because we're going to continue talking Falcons football no matter if it's tomorrow, the day after, no matter when it is, because at the end of the day, we want to see this team win. You guys can hear it from us here, not only on the podcast, but Alberto's podcast too as well. Berto, give us a quick shout out here as we get ready to wrap up the show, because it's been a great night here, not only talking Falcons football with you, but Chase was here too as well. But where can we find you, Berto, on social media? Just your last thoughts here for the night on One Time for the Fan, my brother.
First and foremost, shout out to the panel, man. Shout out to you and Chase and Kiki, man. Thank you. I appreciate you guys allowing me on your platform, very respected platform. So I am truly humbled and honored to be a part of what you guys have going on, and hope to see you guys keep growing, man. So keep doing your thing, man. And any parting whatever that I have to say, just, stay optimistic. The Falcons are in great hands. Offensively, I think that territory is going to speak for itself. I'm more excited, to be honest with you, and I shared this a little bit with you, Jack, over the phone earlier, is the direction the defense is going to go in. There's a lot of brain trust on that defensive side with Jimmy Lakeshore, first year play caller, but we retained two key pieces on defense, and Dave Huxtable and Jerry Gray. That screams to me how this Falcons team is going to be in 2024. The attacking style that we were privileged to see this year is going to carry on, as those two gentlemen have in their DNA this Ryan Nielsen scheme that we had, which worked, and just one calendar year. So we're going to infuse that with the mentality and the vision that Coach Raheem Morris has in store for us. So I'm actually more excited in year two for the defense and the defensive aspect, man. So I'm real hyped about that. That's my part and take on that. Just, for the Falcon fans who, if they were worried about anything defensively, hopefully that brought you some calm. At the end of the day, championships, as they say, do win. Defenses do win championships, and I think Atlanta's, they're very close to building that championship caliber style defense. That's my part and take on that. But on to my socials right quick. So, of course, it's your boy Berto, your host of the 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Rocking right here with my guys, Bodie and Jack, man. One Time for the Fan. You can catch me on Bleacher Report as well, man, as I'll be back on assignment February 15th.
Shout out Bleacher.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out Bleacher Report, man. I'll be back on there February 15th, on another assignment.
Nice.
We'll, just continue pushing this Falcon content onward and forward, man.
Falcon fans, you can hear it right there from Berto, 95 North Falcons Talk Show. When are you going? You have a show? You're going to be on Chase's show Friday?
Yeah, I'm in there.
And then what are we looking at when it comes to getting you back here on One Time for the Fan? I know you're probably going to be busy draft night.
Draft night. The early tentative plan right now is to live stream like I did last year, like we did last year. Things change at last minute, but who knows? But tentatively right now, man, we're gonna go live. But as far as anything coming up right now, probably a pop-up show like this one here at some point this week, possibly, maybe even the weekend, depending on what's on the mind and how we can captivate the minds of our viewers and listeners and stuff like that. So that's always a goal. So I'm sure that myself, Smitty, and Crystal, shout out to my guys too, Smitty and Chris Tip Moore. We'll collectively put our minds together and see what we can conjure up and try to deliver the best content we possibly could for the fan base.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe for Berto, 95 North Falcons Talk Show. Definitely you want to go over there, hit the subscribe on the channel. You got to hear what Berto has to say. I know fans here in the chat probably said, I never heard of Berto before. Now you have. You can go over there to the social medias, Twitter, Instagram too as well.
I had to make a page for Bleacher. I think it's Bert 95 North, to be honest with you. But I don't use it actively at all. I just use that for promotional purposes. That's really
okay.
I don't even promote, to be honest.
Sheesh.
It's just on there, man. But
anytime you want to come to the podcast here to promote, man, it's good for you, brother. Because I'm telling you, man, what you say as a Falcon fan, we definitely love it here on the podcast. The fans here love it in the chat, man. And we're going to continue rising up as Falcon fans and getting ready for a winning season, man.
Yeah, one of the strongest voices in the Falcons atmosphere, bro. So
Thank you, man.
people look up to
Appreciate
you.
that.
I look up to you, man. So
No, man, thank you,
doing
man.
it
And
great.
likewise, man. Hey, man, I've been doing this thing about a year and a half, man. So you guys,
And that
watch
says a
you
lot
guys.
why I've been looking up to you, brother.
Yeah, no,
He's also like 4'11", but you didn't tell him what your height is either. I mean,
Hey,
you sure
man.
about that? No, I'm just playing. Berto, we
man.
appreciate everything, man.
Thank you,
And
man.
definitely we gotta
Thank
get you back on the podcast before
Just let
either
me know.
draft or when the season starts, something. But we know we're gonna be in contact, bro.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, gentlemen. Have a great night, man. Thank you again. Peace out.
Always.
All the
Rise
love.
up, brother.
All right.
All the
All right,
love.
man.
Falcon fans, you hit that like, you hit that share, you hit that subscribe. That is Berto, 95 North Falcons Talk Show. He's been on this podcast before. I'm glad he took the time to take a few minutes out of his day to come talk Falcons football with us. Bodie's been a great show. Chase, who checked in with us. Big shout out to Kiki, too, as well. Tomorrow night, wait a minute. We did a show Sunday. We did a show Monday. Doing a show tonight. And then we got a show tomorrow. And then we got another special podcast this week. Hold on, man. This got a lot going on with One Time for the Fan. Tomorrow we are back with another special guest, man. And this guest right here, he's gonna come talk some Falcons football with y'all. So big shout out to Terry Wilson, who'll be coming in here talking some Falcons football with us tomorrow night. Y'all gonna be like, who the hell is Terry Wilson? You're gonna find out tomorrow night. He got a lot to say when it comes to the Atlanta Falcons. Bodie, any shout outs before we go ahead and get up out of here, sir?
Man, I just want to say real quick, what Berto said right before he got off was Falcons fans stay optimistic. Like you got to do that. Like I ain't telling you how to fan. I ain't telling you who to want. I want certain people too, but you have to look. You have to stay optimistic because there's a lot of options, and everybody's not going to be satisfied, including me, including everybody. I mean, everybody, their wish list. Everybody has their wish list, but the most important thing is to stay optimistic and stay positive because, I mean, there's good things and there's not so good things about uh, every option that we have, trading up to picking one of the veterans to whatever we choose, which is probably it's gonna be one or the other. It's gonna be trading up or picking one of the veterans and probably still drafting the quarterback. So stay optimistic. I mean, in every situation, look at the good and the bad in every situation. Um, it's gonna be a wild off season. I couldn't predict it. I man, I wouldn't put money on what the hell or who the hell our quarterback is going to be. All I know is that like they said in the presser yesterday, they're going to be aggressive. They're going to no doors closed. I think that was Terry's words. No doors closed. Everything is on the table. So we're going to see what happens. But just shout out to everybody here with their opinions and their feelings and who they want and all that. I mean, all that is welcome. I love it. We can healthy debate it. It's wonderful. It's just great. It's great to have all these directions because somebody's gonna end up right. And I won't dwell on the fact that somebody's gonna end up right and they be like, yeah, I'm right. Even if I'm end up, whatever, I didn't say exactly what's gonna happen, but it's just the fact that like Jack said earlier in the show, we're all trying to end up with more wins. All right. We want more than 7 wins. And I ain't talking about 8 wins. I want more than 8. I want more than 9. I want double digit wins. Okay. Like that's what we want. So shout out to everybody in here. Stay optimistic, like Berto said. Put that shit on a t-shirt. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to this show. Shout out to everything we've been doing. Shout out, man. Just shout out to everything. So all the love.
Shout out to the Tito's. Kept me busy
Shout out
tonight.
Shout
Hit
out to
that
the
like.
drink. That drink
Hit
has
that
kept
share.
me busy too.
And hit that subscribe button. Apple Podcast, Spotify podcast is going down in a major way. Got this soccer podcast getting ready to start. They got a bunch of people in this Twitch Discord right now. It is packed right now. And I'm finna go in here and start saying, hey guys, pass the ball. Look at the guys, pass the goal, keep it. It's gonna be a lot of whole crazy shit going on, man. We're big soccer fans too as well. Shout out to Carrie in the chat too as well. That's like my Manchester City sister. But Bodie, I thank you for everything. Chase, Berto from 95 North Falcons Talk Show was here tonight talking Falcons football with us, and it has been great. Tomorrow night, we got Terry Wilson and Myles Garrett Friday at 3 p.m. Are you serious? A pop-up